Greetings, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to the special series, The Telepathy Narrative. Who gets to tell the story? This series exists because of my son, my journey with him, learning him, understanding him, and witnessing the ways he communicates beyond what we've been taught has expanded me in ways I didn't even know were possible. And through this journey, I've had to ask deeper questions about communication, about spirituality, and about the truth. During this series, I'll be sharing experiences, reflections, and observations that challenge the way I understand all three. And this is not about having all the answers, y'all. I don't have all the answers. But this is about being willing to listen differently. It's a multisensory experience to listen. So may this moment meet you exactly where you are, and may you take what resonates, reflect on what doesn't, and remain open to what is unfolding. And it is so. Let's move forward. This is the last episode of the series. And when I started this series, I thought I was just going to be sharing an experience. That's really what I thought it was. Not to attack or single out Highlands Church, but to simply share how my dreams, visions, intuition, and divine directives led me there. But as I've been moving through this, talking it out, sitting with it, I realize now that this is not just about sharing. This is a process of remembering, discerning, and of separating what I've experienced from how it was being interpreted. And I didn't even realize that I was doing that in real time. But now that I'm at the end of this, I can see so clearly. Actually, I've not lost my ability to be clear. I've been crystal clear about all of this. This is not about telepathy. It was never just about telepathy. It's about truth. It's about voice. It's about who gets to define something that's still unfolding in real time. This is every day. My son will wake up telepathic. He will go to sleep telepathic. This is real time because what I've experienced since April in Sedona and in Flagstaff and in Phoenix, and I would say even from the time that my son was born, my son's presence in this realm has literally shaped everything that I do. I can go all the way back to when he was 2 months old and us sitting in a church, and that was my last time sitting in a church as a parishioner. And I just felt like his soul took me out of the church so I could find my own relationship with the divine, and be able to see him. Because if I was still religious like I was practicing, would I be able to see him? Would I be able to feel him? Would I be able to listen with my whole self? Would I be able to see how he communicates in a different way? I can't say that I would. And so there's that. And I will say that there is a distinct difference between experiencing something and explaining it. Because when those two things aren't held in balance, that the explanation can start to override the experience. And in some cases, it does. It's not always intentional, but it happens because it's human nature. We've been conditioned to make things make sense, to organize them, to categorize them, to explain everything in a way that feels complete. But everything isn't meant to be explained like that. Everything doesn't fit in this cute little box or a system that's pre-established. There are systems that make us feel safe. Some things are meant to be experienced. Some things are meant to be witnessed. And some things are meant to be honored without being reshaped. And that's where I am. I'm choosing to center the people using telepathy as their primary form of communication, not the interpretations of them, and certainly not the frameworks built around them, but the people themselves, their experiences, their awareness, and the way that they communicate, even when we don't fully understand it yet. And like I said, all of this understanding is happening in real time. The people, the children, the young adults, the people that use telepathy as primary form of communication are not confused, and they are not unclear. And they're not waiting for us to define what they're doing because they're already doing it. The real question is, whether we're willing to meet them there or if we're going to keep trying to bring them back to where we are. And we as a collective, not we as me, because I'm open to moving myself in a way that doesn't limit the experience, but expands the experience into things even beyond my own level of understanding. And I feel pretty expansive. So for me, the answer is clear. I'm not here to shrink their experience into something more comfortable or digestible. I'm here to expand my understanding to meet it. And that requires something: humility, listening, requires being okay with not having all the answers because truth doesn't always come wrapped up in something neat, like I just said, and easy to explain. Sometimes it unfolds, sometimes it reveals itself over time, and we have to be willing to stay open long enough to receive it. And there's something else I realized that I didn't plan to realize is that this series is 7 episodes. 7 is the number of completion. And I didn't map that out. I didn't just sit down and say, this is going to be 7 parts. It just became that. And when I noticed it, I immediately felt the alignment, the divine guidance, the divine love, because it feels like this was a full cycle from experience to awareness to observation to discernment and to my truth based in my experience. And now I'm moving forward differently. I have been moving forward differently. I'm my son's voice. So I've been moving differently, not because I have it all figured out, but because I'm clear. I'm his mom first. I'm clear about our experience together, and I'm clear about, in this experience, what I felt, and I'm clear about what I'm willing to stand on. And that is this: the children and young adults that use telepathy as their primary form of communication deserve to be fully centered, not interpreted into silence, not shaped into something more comfortable, and not used to confirm something we already believe, but heard as they are. And so, as this series closes, the question is still there: who gets to tell the story? And maybe the real answer is the story was never ours to take. It was always ours to listen to with our full sensory experience. And I'm choosing to listen. Before I part, if this series resonates with you, if it's challenged you in any way, and if it's opened something up for you, don't just sit with it. Reflect on it. Talk about it. Question what you've been taught. That's okay. And most importantly, listen to understand, not respond.